Hello book lovers, welcome back to the Bibliovert channel. My name is Jacqueline. So I'm not gonna lie, I am so excited about today's video because I think we're going to make this into a series, and I can see this series going on for a really long time. So I just can't wait. But we have decided to take some of our favorite tropes and give book recommendations based off of it. So for this first one, I selected one of my personal favorites, which is the I'm going to marry you to kill you trope. And I just can't wait. I love it. I have read all 6 of these books. Some of them are chef's kiss perfection. Some of them, I'm not gonna lie, were not my favorites, but I am not going to focus on why I did or did not like a book. Instead, I'm going to talk about kind of the overarching plot as well as how it fits this trope. But if you have read these, or if you end up reading any of these, please let me know because I would love to talk about them. So the first one came out in December of 2021, and it is King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a Tristan and Isolde retelling. It also has vampires, which middle school Jacqueline is just really thrilled about this development because I feel like they're kind of starting to make a comeback, which I did not see coming, but I'm here for it. So this absolutely fits the bill of I'm going to marry you and then kill you vibe, which I fall for it every time. Isolde is a strong, takes no nonsense from anyone kind of main character, absolute badass. And I'm not gonna lie, all of these tabs, 99.9% of them are from Adrian and the things that he says, which were wonderful. So Adrian is the vampire king of a neighboring country, and he is slowly going through and conquering all of his neighboring countries. Isolde is a princess of a country, and in order for her to protect her people, she agrees to marry him, and of course is like oops, now you're gonna die. But of course there are twists and turns, of course there are things you don't see coming. This had a couple of twists that I did see them coming, but I feel like are not very commonly used. So it definitely kept me on my toes. This next one, y'all, I just love it so much. This is one of my all-time favorites, no doubt about it. But it is Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen. This book is so good. So Lara has been raised to become an assassin, and her whole life is dedicated to marrying a king, killing him, so that she can undermine the country and her dad can take over. Yeah. And one of the things that I love about this book so much, because I think oftentimes with this trope, if they are going to be assassins or they are kind of like that heartless, I'm gonna kill you kind of thing, they don't seem capable. You know, they might be assassins, but everything goes wrong. Not Lara. Not my girl. She is unbelievable. She's so cool. So yeah, this book, the way that it ends, you're like, oh, okay, whoa. And then the second one is so good too. I also love that it's a duology. I feel like Daniel L. Jensen could have drawn it out, made it a ton of books, and wrung it dry for everything that it had, but she was like, no, I'm gonna preserve just how incredible it is and only make it 2 books. Read it, it's so good. This next one. I love this author. I love this book. The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Audier. So basically, this is a 1001 Nights retelling. It's set in this fantastical Middle Eastern country. The descriptions of everything are scrumptious, just absolutely delicious. Also this cover, I love. But basically, every single night, Khalid, who's the caliph, marries a girl, and by morning she's dead. And Shazi, our main female character, her best friend was one of those girls. And so she's like, well, I'm gonna stop that from happening because this has been going on for way too long. So she ends up marrying Khalid, the caliph, and she starts telling him stories at night. And basically it's like prolonging her life. She's not dead by the next morning. And the stories are beautiful. They're so gorgeously woven. Khalid is just, it's really good, y'all. Yeah, this one, fantastic. And I think what I loved so much is like, it had that like main plot, but then there was so much else that was going on at the same time, and you're finding out more about Shazi, and you're finding out more about Khalid, and it's just fantastic. Fantastic. So this next one was actually our first ever Patreon book buddy read, and the girls that we read it with, so it kind of has like a special place in my heart, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't figure out if I had a ridiculous fever dream or if it was the book. Still to be determined. But this was a TikTok made me do it, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't regret it, because again, it's a wild ride. But it was Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So basically, Nyx has known her entire life that she was going to be forced to marry this king who is very secluded, very broody, no one likes him kind of thing. It's like a death sentence for her to be the one to have to go marry him. And so she's like, cool, I'm just gonna, and then like, we won't have this problem anymore. But she gets there and she finds out that there's a curse, not everything is what it seems, and she has to be the one to like solve it. And basically like everything just messes with your brain, like all of it. You're just like, what is going on? You don't know what's true, you don't know what's false. It's just everything is wild. You trust one person to be betrayed. It just is unbelievable, but like a lot of fun too, you know? So it's just unbelievable. You feel like you can't trust yourself. I desperately need more people to talk to about this book. This next one of the things that I really enjoy about it is that it's a standalone. And so even though there were parts that I wish we could have fleshed out a little bit more, and some other parts that I felt like maybe we could have skipped over, it was kind of nice and refreshing to just have a standalone and not feel like you're having to commit to a super long series. And the book is Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. If you have read ACOTAR and you really enjoy Nesta, or if you kind of enjoy the Slytherin stereotype of ambition and cunning and ruthlessness, then I think you would really enjoy the main character, Alessandra. Her whole goal is like, I'm gonna marry the king and I'm gonna kill him because I want to be the only ruling person. Like, I'm gonna be queen and I'm just gonna rule on my own, and I'm not gonna share that with anyone. And she's a baddie, y'all. Like, she is a baddie. Also, another one of my all-time favorite things in books is the shadows, just like when a character has them. I'm done. I love them. I love it. And the main character does. He has that. And I'm like, sold. And the last one that I have on my list, it's complicated. It fits the trope, like 100% fits the trope. But getting there might be a little roundabout. Because anyway, you can technically read it without having read this other series first, but it might help you to have read it. And this book also helps you understand that other series really well too. So like, they're very intertwined. But it is A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed this book. I was pleasantly surprised because I have a lot of feelings on the From Blood and Ash series, which is the series that I recommend potentially reading beforehand. Again, you don't have to, but I do think this book helps you understand a lot that goes on in the From Blood and Ash world. So like, they're just very interwoven into each other. So A Shadow in the Ember is about Sarah, who her entire life has known that she is meant to be the maiden and she's going to be the consort of the primal of death, who is Nyktos. She knows that when she gets married, she needs to kill Nyktos because he's the one responsible for everything that's going on with her people. So she trains her entire life, and when the time comes for her to marry Nyktos, he's like, nah. See ya, or not, which really throws a wrench in her plans. So basically, you then get this whole wild ride and a lot happens, and I really enjoyed Sarah and her character because while she was really strong and ruthless in a lot of senses, she was also incredibly compassionate. And I feel like sometimes you don't get both of those things in characters. And so I enjoyed seeing that in her, that she was still really compassionate to her people, for her like friends, but she also was a baddie, which I thought was really fun. And then Nyktos is also pretty great too. So I'm pleasantly surprised and expectant for the sequel and this series. Because I enjoy Sarah and Nyktos a lot. And I kind of enjoyed the way that it wove into everything with the From Blood and Ash world. But that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you read any of these, please let me know, because I would love to talk to you about them. Also, if you have books that fit the I'm gonna marry you to kill you trope, please leave a comment down below, because I am needing more of these in my life. And with this series, I am hoping to make a part 2, part 3, part 4 of just continually being able to give out recommendations that fit this trope. So I'm excited about this series. I hope you are too, and I hope you ended up really enjoying it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like as well as subscribe to our channel. We also have an Instagram called the Bibliovertpodcast, so if you want to go check that out, or DM us, we love making new friends, so definitely check that out. We also have a Patreon that is filled with truly some of the most amazing book-loving people in the entire world. It's such a fun community. We do a lot of exclusive content for our patrons, so check that out. And we also have a podcast called the Bibliovertpodcast. We do 4 episodes every single month. 2 of them are book-specific episodes, so we do an in-depth review of the book that we're reading, and then the other 2 are topic episodes, and one of those is specifically for our patrons. So every single month they get an episode that is only for them, and we just have so much fun. So definitely check that out as well. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. But I hope you have a fantastic week. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time.